I recently had a question from a client that asked me, can you use rental income to help me qualify for another property? And in this video, I'm going to be covering the answer to that question. And also, if you're looking to build your real estate portfolio, how you can use your current situation, your equity in your properties to help you build more wealth. And if this is the first time you're checking out my channel, my name is Seanu Uyehara. I'm an area manager with Geneva Financial, and I created my channel to help you understand the mortgage industry a little better and help you get your mortgage right. So if you ever need a second opinion or you need to get pre-approved for a home loan, you can hit the description below. There's links to more information, and you can also email me so that way my team can do an analysis for you and just make sure that you're getting the best deal possible out there. Like I mentioned, I had a client the other day ask me the question about, they have a home, can we use the rental income to help us buy another property? And the short answer is yes, you can certainly do that. There's a couple of ways and things that we look at as a lender to determine whether or not you can purchase another property. So it's not too complicated. In fact, it's very similar to what it looks like when you purchased your first home. We're going to look at your credit. We're going to look at your income, your overall assets, and how much money you can put towards the down payment. And at the end of the day, we're going to have a number that determines whether or not you can or can't buy a house. Now, for most people that currently own a home, they want to buy investment properties or they want to turn their primary into a rental. Now, what we typically look at as a lender is if you have any documented housing payment, we can typically offset the new mortgage with the rental income. And what we will use is 75% of the gross rent. So this is where for most people that are looking to qualify for another house, you don't have to qualify for the entire mortgage payment. That's kind of where a lot of people in the past would think that in order for me to buy another house, I need to make an exorbitant amount of money. When in reality, you don't really have to make a ton of money. So let's say you're buying a home and the gross rent could be $2,000 a month. If you're using 75% of that amount, that would equate to $1,500 that we could use to offset the mortgage payment. So for most people, you're only having to qualify for maybe a few $100s worth of mortgage payment. Again, this really depends on your overall price point and the amount of money that you're putting down as well. So it may be a few $100, you may get closer to breaking even, or it may even be a lot larger than that. But remember, typically when you're buying an investment property, you're putting down at least 25, if not 30% or more in today's day and age. Now, back in the day, you could actually put less money down where you could put 15 or even 20%, which you still technically could do today. However, with the risk that Fannie Mae has now implemented for second homes and investment properties, it gets really expensive if you're putting less money down. So even though it's something you could possibly do, in my opinion, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So most of our clients are putting more down because their typical goal is that they want to have some sort of cash flow every month. So remember, when you're looking to buy a house as an investor, you really have to be able to define what the goal is for the property. I've had some clients that say that, hey, if I take maybe a $200-300 loss on this home, it's okay because I have other rentals that can offset the loss that I'm taking. Or some folks are taking into account the fact that I just want to break even. And then you have some that, hey, I want to make $200, $300, $400 a month off the rental. And all three of those things are easily achievable, and any lender can back into the numbers to tell you how much money you have to put down in order for the deal to work. Now, here's one thing that many investors miss out on, and this is one thing that can help you save thousands of dollars when you're buying a house today. So as an investor, you can get the seller to contribute up to 2% towards your closing costs. This is free money that's on the table. So make sure that when you're negotiating, yes, you want to get a good deal on the house, but if they're willing to come down on their price, maybe you want to ask them for some credits back. I recently had a client the other day that looked at a house that was priced at $297,000. He made a low ball offer to them, and they actually countered him back at $270,000, which then they actually finally settled on a price of $255,000 on this specific property. I told him he should have asked them for the 2% to have them give them at least $5,000 back in closing costs to help buy down his interest rate, or we can just simply cover more closing costs for him. So in that situation, as much as we want to get the seller to come down on their price, don't forget there's still an option for them to cover some of your closing costs for you. It's free money if it's out there. Negotiate for it and make sure you can get that funds because you can use it a lot of different ways. Now, when you're looking to qualify for another investment property and we're using the rental income to offset that mortgage, it's a really helpful way to start growing your real estate portfolio. But now here's the thing. If you've already got rental properties on your your tax returns. You want to make sure that your accountant is not taking such a huge loss on these rentals. This is where sometimes it can bite some of our clients in the butt because you're lowering your taxable income, which is great. Maybe you can get a refund. But if your W-2 income, or if the income from your job or your business that you have doesn't suffice to qualify for the mortgage, it could hurt you qualifying in the future. And this is where now you have to look at some out-of-the-box programs, which usually clients don't like the terms that they get, and maybe it delays their buying of another property. So make sure that when you're looking at your tax returns that you're not taking too huge of a loss when it comes to your rental properties. There's certain things that we can add back as a lender, like depreciation and your mortgage interest if you have a mortgage on the property. But this is where you always want to have a game plan ahead of time. And this is something I always stress with all of our clients, is having a good plan, because as we roll into the fourth quarter of the year, if buying a home next year is important to you, you want to make sure that get with your lender ahead of time so they can work with your CPA and we can dial in some numbers for you. This is something we do all the time with our investor clients because they want to show enough income to buy, but yet not showing too much income where it affects them when it comes to tax time. So there's a happy medium that we can work with you and your accountant to determine what that number is. That way, when you do purchase a home, you can easily qualify for the mortgage you want, and you can qualify for traditional financing. Because remember, there's always hard money, there's always non-QM products that are out there that you can use to purchase a home, but it may require more money down, and most definitely it's going to charge you a higher interest rate, and it could even cost you more money up front to do the deal. So just depending on what you're willing to tolerate, you have to determine that for yourself, or if you need us to help you do that, this is where we can provide you some strategy and some options so that way you can determine what makes the most sense. Because for some of our clients, they do like the non-QM product route where they don't have to provide a ton of documentation and it's just less of a headache for them. And some clients, they want the strategy, they want a better rate in order to get them the cash flow that they're looking for. So again, you as an investor, you have to make that determination for yourself. But the good news is that you can use rental income to offset the mortgage payment. So use this hack to help you grow your real estate portfolio. Look for some rental properties in today's market, since use this strategy to help you acquire more homes during this time where maybe there's less competition out there and sellers are willing to negotiate to give you more of a deal on maybe some properties that are sitting on the market a little longer. Share this with your investor buddies that are looking to buy. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.